what can I do if I want to grow my spouse, if I want to grow my marriage, but my spouse is not interested? I love all the suggestions, but I rarely do them because I feel they're geared more towards couples who want to both make the marriage better. And I feel I'd be rejected due to my spouse not really being on the same page.
I think it's a great question. Obviously, the best case scenario is both, but they don't have to be totally in the same place, but
Hmm.
both are wanting the marriage to be better, both are working to make the marriage better. And so, yeah, then so one things like that we do, it's really easy for them to implement them. If your
Hmm.
spouse isn't there, what I would say is pray and pray for your
Hmm.
spouse. But I think look and say, oh God, okay, God, I can't change him. So grow
Hmm.
me into who you created me to be. And so work on yourself. And so sometimes, some of the one things you may say, oh, I just can't do that. Okay. But don't give up on it. Maybe there's one that you comes up the next day that you can do. And I think sometimes, one of the things that I loved about the
Hmm.
Love Dare uh, I guess it was a devotional type thing. You had 30 days
Hmm.
of love dare things. And it was not anything about your spouse.
Hmm.
It was what the guy was supposed to do today. And it did affect their spouse in a
Hmm.
positive way. So a lot of the one things or
Hmm.
things we're talking about, you can do even if they don't
Hmm.
respond. And I think what
Hmm.
I feel in those situations, at the end of the day, if you can go to bed and say, well, God, with your help, I think everything you wanted me to do today, then it
Hmm.
becomes kind of a deal between you and God, and you're being
Hmm.
obedient to He wants you to be and do, even if your spouse does or doesn't respond. And there's a
Hmm.
real joy that comes in obedience because it's like
Hmm.
I am partnering with the creator of the universe, and
Hmm.
this is what He wants me to do. And when I do that, my life's better.
Hmm. Oh, that's so good. That's really good. And I think too, it reminds me of like, when Christ gave his life, we were not loving him whatsoever. We were rejecting him. We were sinning against him. And that did not stop him from loving us completely. And so I think as a spouse, that's what we're invited into is in all of marriage. It's a gift of love rather than dependent on if you make me feel the way I want to feel, then I'll love you. So this is a great challenge, even though it's painful.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we live in a culture that really breeds impatience. And so that we feel like, okay, I do this. Why didn't he respond today? Well, it may take some time. So I think that's where you
Hmm.
get in that deal with God and you're able to weather some of those storms better because you feel like you're doing what God wants you to do. And
Hmm.
so I think we have to be patient with it. Change doesn't come quickly. And as long as you're not being abused, then I think God, okay, what can I do to continue to be who God created me to be? And hopefully at some point your spouse will either say, hey, let's go to counseling
Hmm.
or let's sit down and talk more about this because that's the goal. Your goal is to your marriage to be better.